Hello, fire signs, and welcome to your reading for the second half of April, where I'll be taking a look at what wants to come through for you in terms of jobs and careers, love and relationships, and life path and mission. So there's been a lot of crazy heavy energy going on over the last 3 weeks between having the lunar eclipse, then Mercury retrograde, which is still going on, and the solar eclipse. It's just been an awful lot of energy. So kind of walk you through some of what's been going on there. Some of those energies can still be felt. Obviously, we're still in Mercury retrograde until the 25th. And then even after that, the shadow period is going to linger until about the 13th. So that's Mercury retrograde, with it being in Aries, in one of your signs there. Watch for kind of some fighting and like irritation and things like that. A lot of times also Mercury retrograde is going to have a lot of issues with communication, technology, like timing just being off, like feeling like things are just half a bubble off, so to speak. So I'll go ahead and pull a crystal card for you to see if there's a certain crystal that you're being encouraged to work with for the second half of April. And we have ruby, and that is about rootedness, vitality, and manifestation. So right now you're really in that period where you can manifest a different future, a different reality, new things to come in, and using a ruby might be very beneficial for you. And you really want to focus on how can you stay rooted and look at things like going out for walks, connecting with nature, really feeling that sense of like rootedness and attachment. So looking at this, also I had just noticed that fire is, when you add up the numbers, it's a 7, which that's about spiritual growth. So looking at staying rooted in that vitality, that inner strength, and really working on how do you manifest the life that you want, whether that's career, whether that's relationship, whether that's something else. So we're just going to put this over here and refer back to it as we go through the reading. So a few things, like I mentioned, Mercury is still in retrograde. On the 19th, we have the sun entering Taurus, and that is about grounding and improving your stability and your security. It's also going to be about connecting with your values. So it's this very 3D energy, like tending to your 3D needs, and some of that can also be that rootedness, like trying to create those bonds around you. On the 20th, we have Jupiter conjunct Uranus, and that's going to be a huge transit for this year. So there's a lot of extra focus and energy around being innovative, around being independent, and around being brave. So some of that, I would say, overlaps quite a bit with that energy of North Node being in Aries, where it's about being you, being unapologetically you, and not, kind of not doing what others expect of you if it's not to your best interest. So it's that healthy level of selfishness and putting your needs first. So jobs and careers, let's take a look at this, and then I'll go individual sign by sign after we do the general reading. So in the recent past, we've had Queen of Pentacles, currently sitting in this Knight of Cups energy, and the next level of energy coming in is the Hierophant in reverse. So you have been sitting in this kind of luxurious, comfortable energy in your job, so things have kind of been stable. You felt like you've had blessings and abundance related to your job. Then you're currently sitting in this Knight of Cups. So there's a sense of this, he's kind of the diplomat, like trying to negotiate for good terms and conditions. Almost, I feel like it's almost kind of a little bit of like wheeling and dealing, but not in like a skeezy way. The next level of energy coming in is the Hierophant. And so that's going to be about freedom and like breaking free of some of the rules of the traditional structure. So, if you found abundance in your job and maybe that's putting you in a place where you feel like, what could I do a little differently that's a little bit more inspiring? I have enough of a cushion that I don't necessarily have to play by the rules just because those are the rules that everybody else has established. What is it that would be authentically me? What is it that I want to do? Can I negotiate for that within the current structure that I'm in? Or if not, do I need to break out of that structure and, maybe do something a little bit different? So that's kind of what's coming through on the job and career standpoint. And we'll take a look with each individual sign and see what exactly that means. Looking at some more of the energy that's coming in on the 23rd, we have a Scorpio full moon. So that's going to be this intense and passionate energy, which is really going to be pushing you to address something serious that needs to be resolved. So there's something, if there's something in your life that you've kind of been dragging your feet, not wanting to make a decision, not wanting to do something about it, that it's so funny that this came out as I'm talking about pushing you to resolve something that needs to be resolved. The 10 of Swords in reverse is about turning a corner and you're learning your lessons because it's been such massive defeat and betrayal. So I'm just going to leave that one right there. So funny that one jumped. The next line here is about love and relationships. So that presumably, since in my mind I had already set that intention, even though I hadn't said it yet, presumably that's related to love and relationships. But so that's on the 23rd. And then on the 29th, we have Venus entering Taurus, and that's about improving stability and security in relationships. So if this is something, a major discussion that needs to be had, like something needs to be addressed, something's not working. For some of you, it's going to be ending a relationship, and that will bring you security and stability because your current relationship is bringing you a lot of instability and insecurity. All right. And then let's go ahead and take a look at love and relationships and see what wants to come through. In the recent past, we have 6 of Wands in reverse, currently sitting in Knight of Wands in reverse energy, with the next level of energy coming in being Page of Wands. So let's move these up because the next row isn't going to have enough space. So in the recent past, there's been this sense of disappointment and some disgrace as it relates to love and relationships for you. And you're currently sitting in the Knight of Wands in reverse energy is kind of this like angry, like arrogant, reckless type of energy. And so it's almost like whatever this disgrace is that has happened in the recent past, it's leaving you feeling really, really angry. And, this arrogance, and not necessarily in a bad way. So just like I had said, North Node in Aries is about a healthy level of selfishness. This is like a healthy level of arrogance. Like whatever this disgrace and disappointment was over here, it's kind of coming through as a, wait a second, I don't deserve that. This is ridiculous. Why is this happening? Like, why does this continue to be an issue? The next level of energy coming in is your Page of Wands energy. So it is this like dull and indecisive energy. Oh my gosh, sorry, my dog is being so loud. So it is this like dull and indecisive energy. Like you just don't know where to go. Like, that you don't want this, but it's like, what do I do? How do I get past this? How can I move on from this? Which it looks like you are starting to turn a corner. If this 10 of Swords in reverse is coming up as it relates to love and relationships, there is a corner to be turned there. But like that sense of wanting to address this, like you're angry and, maybe lashing out, but you don't really know what direction to go with that. So we'll take a look for like sign by sign and see what specific messages want to come through. We'll have some oracle cards per sign as well to see what advice is coming through from Spirit on that. All right. And now we have life path and mission. Okay. Sorry, one second. All right. We'll see if the dog will give me some peace here. Nope. Okay, so let's take a look at life path and mission. The card that just jumped with that is the Emperor in reverse, but let's pull some cards and we'll weave it together. In the recent past, you've had the Sun, currently sitting in this Eight of Swords in reverse energy. And then the next level of energy is the Six of Cups in reverse. So it's actually a little bit of backwards momentum going here for some of the fire signs with your life path and mission. Like you had been sitting in this good place where you felt like you were receiving these blessings and you felt like you knew where things were going with your life path, and like you thought things were all lining up right, and you were breaking free from feeling trapped. You were kind of breaking out of that and getting some perspective and taking control. But then this next level of energy coming in, this Six of Cups in reverse, is a little bit of energy of like feeling stuck. You're focusing too much on the past. This also does have an energy of leaving home. So, you know, I would say it's kind of a mixed bag, but it almost comes across as if, you know, you've realized what these blessings are. You're getting yourself unstuck and now you're leaving. So if you're in a current situation, in a, you know, I'll call it maybe a cohabitation situation, either married or just living with somebody else, it's this sense of leaving home. And, you know, like leaving your comfort zone because of the fact that you've realized that that you know you need to break free from something. With our Emperor in reverse, this was a little bit of like, oh my gosh, this rigidity that was coming through, that you didn't have the ability to control your life or situation the way you wanted to. So it's forcing you to make some big changes. So that's kind of the overall message that's coming through here for fire signs. One of the things as well, before I do sign grouping by sign grouping, on the 30th, we have Mars entering Aries. So that puts Mars in its home sign, which makes it extra strong, especially for Aries. But this is about getting excited about a new beginning and taking initiative for what it is that you want and trying to make things happen and happen fast. So I think with this transition of leaving home, this could also be, if it's related to a job, maybe you're moving, you're leaving your home base. There is a little bit of, with this Six of Cups in reverse energy, there is an element of kind of feeling like, you know, walking down memory lane, like, oh, I'm leaving home, you know, which you can do that in a way that's not getting yourself too stuck. So you can still remember the good times, you know, things like that, like fondly acknowledge the good experiences that has brought, while still welcoming in the new. So I think towards the end of the month, especially when Mars is entering Aries, I think you're going to feel a lot of movement towards something different, like towards this new beginning, and you want to make things happen, and you want to take that initiative to go for what it is that you want, really taking advantage of that North Node in Aries energy of being unapologetically you. So now let's go sign by sign. We will start with Aries and see what all messages want to come through for you, since there's a lot of planets that are still in your sign right now, and Mars is entering Aries here. All right, let's take a look at jobs and careers. You have Judgment in reverse, and you have the Chariot in reverse. So you're trying to, you know, maybe negotiate. How could you do something different? How could you think about things outside of the box a little bit? But you are running into some delays, some obstacles. So it's coming across that you're not going to be able to accomplish that within the structure or framework that you are currently sitting in. So you are going to have to break free from that in order to see some of these ideas come through, or the direction that you want to go. Because also Judgment in reverse is, it has to do with like doubt and ignoring a chance. And so I think this is the cautionary tale here, is just because you're going to run into obstacles trying to alter your current job career scenario to fit what you have as your vision from the future. The message here is, don't let that derail you. Don't let that cause you to turn your back on your vision and on what it is that you want to do, because that's going to cause you to just loop through more cycles. So it's really standing in your truth of is if this is what you want, how do you manifest that? So this manifestation card, how do you manifest that? How do you sit in that strength and that energy to be able to make this situation into what you want it to be? So let's pull one more card here. What else does Aries need to know about this job situation? What will help them take that step forward in making their visions here come to life? So there's going to be this devil energy. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to push back against that devil energy. And that's going to be whatever is trying to keep you from your highest good. And that can be addictions. It can be, substance addictions. It can be addictive thought patterns. Maybe you've had that feeling of, I'm not good enough. The world has told me I'm not good enough. It could be laziness. It could be procrastination. But let's pull a timing card to see when it looks like this new breakout moment happens for Aries. It's already in motion. So you've already started thinking about it. It's just a matter of making sure that you stay strong against the devil energy that's trying to keep you from living your best life. All right, now let's take a look at love and relationships and see what wants to come through for Aries. All right. We have the Queen of Swords, about cutting away all the nonsense, and Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So Queen of Swords is about kind of that perceptive, independent, like that image of she's cutting away all of the BS to get to the truth of the matter. In terms of what this means. So, with this, when you're sitting here kind of in between those two, where you have this like angry, almost like reckless energy of, wait a second, I've been treated unfairly. This is not okay with me. Like stripping it down to say, okay, what is the core issue here? So don't get distracted by whatever, like this person, they have a wreath up here and it's a lot of fanfare. They're coming riding in on a horse. And so it can distract you from what is the core issue there. You also have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And that is, that's going to end up, there's some setbacks and some delays as you try to piece your way through what is it that I'm doing. So if you have this angry energy, if you have this reckless energy, that's going to cause you more delays. So what is the advice from Spirit on what to do, like how to proceed here? What is the advice from Spirit on this? We have our Queen of Wands in reverse. So that's a little bit of this like selfish energy, but this is going to be, the advice from Spirit is that North Node in Aries. Have that healthy level of selfishness. So don't keep giving of yourself to everybody else around you when it's to your detriment. Put yourself first and make sure that you're aligning with what is right for you, for your soul path, for your mission. And that's what's going to get this back on track, and it's going to shorten these delays, because as it is right now, if you're just sitting in this arrogant, like, oh my gosh, I've been done wrong energy, but you're not doing anything about it, you're just going to keep looping. You're going to continue to have some of these delays. So with some of this other energy that's coming in at the end of the month about being excited about new beginnings, really, really push and advocate for yourself to get the new beginning that you want and that you deserve. All right, and then let's pull for life path and mission. And what wants to come through for Aries? The World in reverse. Why are all these cards coming up in reverse? And then we have the Hierophant. So the World in reverse, this is going to be, again, there's some delays and some frustrations, because it's like you want, with this path, you've seen what you want. You've kind of come across or identified what it is that you feel like your life path is, you're breaking free from what's keeping you from that path. But then there's some this sense of needing to leave home. So something has to change in order for you to embrace this path that you've come to understand as being your life path. And so because of the fact that you have to make these changes, it's causing some delays. And, the other part of that advice, like the delays, with this coming out next to the Hierophant, there could be some traditional structure in place that needs to get bucked in order for you to step into that path. If that path is related to a job, maybe for generations and generations, your family has been farmers, and that is that traditional structure. Like everybody in our family is a farmer, and your parents are going to pass down the family farm to you one day, but you don't want that. That's what's causing the delays, is you have this feeling of obligation that there's a structure in place that you're not supposed to change, even though you've already identified that you want to make that change. And that would require you to leave home, whether home is your physical home that you live in, like the house, the residence, or whether it's that feeling of being at home. That is what needs to be, addressed in order for you to live, this life path where you have those blessings. So something needs to change there for you. And actually, let's pull a timing card of when does it look like you'll be embracing that new path and venturing out after you have healed. So there's some healing that you need to do in order to move down that path. And some of it likely, if it's a traditional structure that's causing you delays, maybe it's like I mentioned, the family situation and jobs with a farmer. Maybe it's that you're in a committed relationship that's not the right path for you. Whatever that is, you need to heal before you can fully embrace the new path. And some of that healing, it may take you a little bit of time to get there. Sacred journey, life cycles, family, and transformation. So, with the whole idea of life cycles, everything, there's beginnings and endings all the time within life. With this one, it's looking at the seasons. One season, winter is kind of the season where the plant life dies off, and you kind of go through that period of it looks sort of bleak, and then in the spring everything comes back to life again. So everything goes in these cycles, and knowing that just because you're choosing a different path, it doesn't mean you failed at your first path. It means that path has run its course, and now you're in a new season of life. What is your path in this new season? All right, let's take a look. This is from the Romance Oracle deck. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. And honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So whether that's like an actual holiday, or whether it's that spirit of it being a special celebration. So for some of you, and take that however it resonates with you, but there's so much of this heavy energy that it needs to be lighter for you, because this heavy energy is not helping you. It's not serving you. So as we look back at what the rest of the message has been, that you feel like you've run into being, wronged or disgraced, and how do you get through that? And this is, let's cut away the nonsense of the situation, and, this energy of maybe you need some sort of a fresh start. You need this lighter energy coming in, because the rest of it is the heavier energy is kind of crushing down on you. So let's take a look then. Our last oracle card, and let's see what other messages are coming through there. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. And that is an Eckhart Tolle quote. And what I like about that one, why I included it, is it's so easy to fall into victim mentality of, I'm just stuck, and, life is so hard. Well, you are in the present moment because you may not have specifically chosen it, but based on your actions, your decisions, your indecision, your failure to act, it's gotten you to where you are today. So you have chosen it, whether you knew that it was going to look like this when you made certain choices. You have chosen this moment. So whatever it looks like, whatever struggles you may be encountering, that's something to know. Think of it this way. You are here today exactly where you are because of choices you made a year ago. So what choices are you making today that are going to set the path for 1 year from now? If you want something different than what you have right now, you need to make different choices now so that a year from now, things will look different for you. So that is the message for Aries. I hope that you found this to be helpful, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. I will be doing a twin flame reading and is this your person reading and pick a pile and things like that. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos post. Otherwise, Aries, I wish you peace and joy in the second half of the month. Alrighty, Leo, let's take a look at what messages want to come through for our Leos for the second half of April. And first we will start with jobs and careers. Oh. All right, so we have Two of Wands. Were there 3 cards? No, okay. So we have 4 of Cups. No, I'm sorry, 6 of Cups and 2 of Wands. So from a career standpoint, there's a sense of nostalgia and kind of this like comfort and tradition, as well as 2 of Wands, which is personal power and like decision making. Sometimes it has to do with traveling. You know, the dog's kind of looking to a far off place. So with this, it's like breaking out of the box, like taking that personal power to say, okay, if I can't have the scenario that I want at this job, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So you are trying to do something a little bit more traditional. So even though it's like thinking outside of the box, it's like it's outside of the realm of what you're currently doing, but it is kind of this, you know, like throwback to a different, like to olden days. So the like, I don't know, I'm kind of getting this sense of if you're with a company that is very forward thinking and how do we do all this technology stuff and how do we do this and this, it's almost like, you know, having a sense of, wait, but do our customers or our clients really want all of this tech heavy, automated, you know, blah, blah, blah. So like if, you know, for example, if you were in the insurance industry, do our clients really want all of these online portals where they can access their documents and pay their bills and do all of that? Or do we need to, you know, go back to olden day customer service where they pick up the phone and call and they know the person on the other end, like that sort of comfort and nostalgia and tradition. So it's almost like you're breaking outside of the box of what your business or industry is thinking about now, but it's like a throwback to an older way of doing things. And that, you know, a matter of it being a personal power that you're saying, you know what, I think that people want that. You know, in general, I feel like there's such a heavy push in life, you know, keep moving life forward, automate it, make things smoother, you know, everything needs to be ready at the tip of your fingers to be able to do all this stuff. But was the old way of doing it really so bad? Oh, sorry, it seems a little dark in here. Oh, okay. Well, that just gave us a little bit of glare. So I'll pop that up just a little bit so you can see it. Okay. Now let's take a look at love and relationships and see what wants to come through for Leo with love and relationships. We have our Page of Swords and we have our Four of Swords. So there's a sense of kind of a little bit of patience, but also some planning and some curiosity. You're looking at what would this look like if I changed things up? What would it look like if I left, if I did something different? This Four of Swords energy is you're in this sense of like deep thought and kind of recuperation, like whatever whatever was done to wrong you is really putting you in this reflective mood and kind of getting you to think about what might that look like if I made a different choice. If I said, you know what, I'm done with, being like feeling this disgrace. And, so there's this dull, indecisive energy. But let's take a look and see from a timing standpoint, when does that break? When does it shift into this planning and a little bit of kind of this hope and optimism for the future? So when does that happen? Make it happen now. So this is saying don't wait for it to change on its own. You need to be the leader of that. So if this energy that was coming in was somebody else was assertively, proactively, intentionally driving a situation in a certain direction, this card is saying don't wait for somebody else to take action that's going to help you out. Like, you need to stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself, and make the decision that's best for you. All right, let's look at life path and mission and see what wants to come through there for Leo. We have our 8 of Wands in reverse, and we have our 7 of Pentacles. So you are reaping the rewards of, and reaping the benefits of all of this like hard work that you've put in and breaking, like over here, this breaking free from what you felt has kind of kept you restricted. There is some delay though with our 8 of Wands in reverse. So there's a little bit of maybe slowness to it, and it could feel like bad timing. Like if you're this card here about leaving home, and kind of a sense of like separation and leaving home, that it may have a sense of bad timing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't do it. So, I use the example of if it was like, oh, well, everybody in our family is a farmer, and, your parents were going to pass down the family farm to you. It could be that, when you get to a point of making that decision, like, okay, I'm going to be done with this. I'm going to have this conversation and break free onto my own path. Maybe that's the same time that one of your other siblings says that too. And then it's like, well, this is bad timing. Now nobody wants the farm, so one of those types of scenarios. But let's take a look at when does this look to be unfolding, like, reaping the rewards here and choosing your path after the Tower. So some major structure is going to come down. And that's what's also going to help trigger this sense of leaving home. So let's take a look at some of these other cards and see what that looks like. And for some of you too, that was kind of one of the examples I used was the farm. But, if you're in a relationship, whether it's a business partnership or whether it's a romantic relationship with somebody, and you have that feeling of needing to break free from that because it just doesn't feel like it's your path, you might run into bad timing, like you're getting ready to break up with the person and the person finds out that their mother died, or, and so then you kind of have that feeling of, oh, can I really do that? That would be so totally terrible of me to do that. So there could be some major changes that end up going on that kind of have caused some of that bad timing and delays, but looks like you will be reaping the benefits of your intention to live a life true to yourself. Enchanted Forest, mystery, magic, and excitement. So there is some excitement that's going on in your life. It may seem a little bit unknown right now. You might have that sense of, I need to break free and do something different, but you may not know exactly what it is. It could be this enchanted forest. Like you're manifesting. And if you're manifesting, a different path, a different job, you may not know exactly what that looks like, but there's a sense of excitement about it. Like, this is the beginning of something new, All right. And then we had heart-to-heart conversations was the card that jumped. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So as you've had the chance to have some rest and recuperation and making plans for what do you want your life to look like, the key to that is, to have those actual heart-to-heart conversations. Like, that's not one of those sneak out in the middle of the night and leave a post-it note on the door like, hey, I'm gone now. Like having some of those discussions, because even though those might be difficult, you'll get a wonderful sense of standing up for yourself. Like if there was something that happened that was really, oh my goodness, ending this will bring you peace. If there's something that's really been bothering you about this situation that's led to this disappointment and disgrace and everything, standing up for yourself will help bring closure and help solidify that lesson. And that's going to be signaling to the universe that you are ready for something different and better because you leaned in to that lesson. You embrace that lesson and what is it trying to teach you? And, so it looks like for Leos that there's a relationship that's coming to an end. Ending this will bring you peace. So that is the message that was coming through for Leos. I hope that you found this to be helpful, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest. I will be doing a twin flame reading and pick a pile reading coming up in the next few days as well after I finish the second half of the month readings. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos post. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy in the second half of April. All right, Sagittarius. Let's see what wants to come through for you. All right, Sagittarius. We are going to start with jobs and careers. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Well, and that looks a little bit better than the other one. So there is victory. So this is the Six of Wands in the upright. We had it in the reverse over here with the love and relationships. But from a job perspective, you're gonna have that victory, but it's gonna come on the heels of like a lot of struggle and a lot of like exhaustion and overburden and responsibility. So it looks like you are going to get that. It's just a matter of if you're having to break free from certain cycles and you feel like you're trying to negotiate for something better, it's going to leave you feeling kind of just overburdened and like you're struggling because it takes a lot of effort to get to it, but stick with it because you are going to get that victory. So stick with your negotiations and trying to put things into a structure that you want. Really work on your manifesting, and you'll be able to bring in that start that you're looking for, that direction. Because remember, with this, it was that sense of I have my abundance, but I'm kind of being called to do something a little bit different, and I'm trying to adjust my outer reality to what it is that I really want to do. So make sure that you stick with it because it looks like you are going to be successful. So let's take a timing card. When does this success look like it's going to be happening for Sagittarius? In the fall. So it's going to take some work, but the fall is not too far off. All right, let's take a look at love and relationships. See what all wants to come through for Sagittarius. We have our Eight of Pentacles, and we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So with the relationship, it's a sense of your talents. Like that's kind of a strange card for with this scenario. So it's almost like you have become talented at, I'll call it like looking the other way, maybe at some of these things, but whatever this disgrace was, it really, really triggered you. And now you feel like you are just like stalling. There's this real big sense of indecision. Like you don't know what to do. Like you feel like you've put in so much time and effort into this situation. You just don't know what to do about it. So let's see. Advice from Spirit. What should Sagittarius be doing or considering about this love situation. Page of Cups and Five of Swords in reverse. So this is about finding some sort of a resolution or compromise. And this is, it's interesting. So this is a different message than we had for the other fire signs. So this is almost like, because the Page of Cups energy is, it's that small, innocent offer. And it's about, how do you find that resolution? How do you find that compromise? So Sagittarius, you're being told to use your talents and find what that compromise is. So that's the message coming through for Sag. Let's take a look at your life path and mission and see what wants to come through for you. You have Knight of Cups and you have your Six of Pentacles. So your Knight of Cups energy, and this is actually energy that's up here too. So it may be a matter that your life path and mission is related to this job, since we have the same energy in both of them. So that's going to be that like artistry, that negotiation as you're looking to make a big change. Your Six of Pentacles energy is this charitable energy, this generous giving energy. So if you are breaking out and doing something new to follow your passions, make sure that you're ready to give generously, and maybe it's a matter of you're helping people. Maybe that's part of your calling, is you feel like you're called to help people, and how do you do that, and what does that look like? Let's pull some oracle cards as well for Sagittarius and see what all other messages want to come through. Purification by fire, bare essentials, the naked truth, and wholeness. So this is, I would say in this line here, because there has been such strong feelings and this sense of, kind of like disappointment. And so disgrace might be too strong of a word for Sagittarius. More so like some disappointment, I guess, with that. So how do you get down to the heart of that, and how do you have those conversations with the person to bring you back into that sense of wholeness? Like strip away whatever's not serving you. So this situation involves marriage. So maybe you are married, maybe you were disappointed about something in the marriage, and then worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. It could have been that you were having some discussions about marriage and there were some disappointments, like you thought it was going to happen sooner. But that message, worth waiting for. So the divine timing will bring you together when it's supposed to. And some of this is a matter of finding, how do you find that resolution? How do you find that compromise? There's no shortcut to healing. So that, most applicable there. Let's see. Don't confuse chemistry with compatibility. So there could be some bigger issues that need to be addressed within your love life. With a lot of it coming down to having some of that communication, like stripping back all of the layers of what's confusing the situation for you, and really work on the healing that needs to happen. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful, but as always, Sagittarius, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. I'll be doing some additional readings in the next couple days after I finish up with the second half of the month reads. So make sure you hit subscribe and notification if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos post. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy in the second half of the month.